Now let's begin with soil pollution. First of all, we are going to work on with the definition of soil pollution. So, alteration in soil by the addition and removal of materials leading to reduced productivity is called soil pollution. Let's read this once more. Alteration in soil by the addition and removal of materials leading to reduced productivity is called soil pollution. After this, we will be dealing with types of soil pollutants. Now, pollutants are the ones which are going to cause this alteration in the soil properties. So, they are known as soil pollutants. Now, what are the types of these soil pollutants? We have chemicals, pesticides, fertilizers and manure, radioactive materials, discarded materials and other pollutants which actually act as soil pollutants. So, let us discuss these soil pollutants one by one. First of all, we will discuss chemicals. Well, many industrial processes, they release chemicals, and these chemicals are sometimes directly mixed with soil, right. So, when they are mixed with soil, they are going to alter the properties of soil, they are going to reduce the fertility of the soil. So, these chemicals can actually include metals. For example, if we talk about mercury, cadmium, right. So, when the soil is actually polluted by these metals or certain chemicals that are released by the industries, then this leads to contamination of the soil, which eventually leads to what? The decreased fertility of the soil. Means the soil fertility is greatly reduced when the soil is contaminated by these chemicals. Next, we have pesticides. Now, in the farms, what happens? Farmers generally use pesticides so that they can control the pest. For example, if we take an example of an insecticide, insecticide is the one which is used to kill the insects so that the crop is actually secure, safe. An example of insecticide is DDT, right. Now, this DDT is an insecticide. When it is sprayed on the crop, right, what happens? Obviously, it is an insecticide, no insects would be there, but when it leaches down into the soil, this is going to lead to the reduced fertility of the soil. So, by the use of these harmful pesticides, we are actually altering the properties of soil, leading to soil pollution. Next, we have fertilizers and manure. When excess of fertilizers and manure are used, they also lead to decrease in the quality of soil, leads to decrease in the fertility of the soil. So, excess of fertilizers and manure, it can also lead to soil pollution. Then radioactive materials. What happens? The radioactive materials, during mining operations, for example, if you talk about uranium, it is a radioactive element. Now, when this uranium is actually decomposed in the soil pits, soil pits are made and these radioactive materials, they are decomposed, they are there, due to which they can cause soil pollution, because they do not decay so easily. They are going to continuously emit these radioactive waves. So, radioactive materials dumping in the soil can also lead to soil pollution. Then there are certain discarded materials. For example, the most harmful one which we are actually hearing nowadays, it is in news, we have plastic waste. This plastic waste, it is degraded and it is a form of non-biodegradable waste. Now, since it is a form of non-biodegradable waste, it means it is not going to degrade over the years. So, it is going to remain as it is in the soil. So, eventually this is also going to lead to what? This soil pollution. Next, other pollutants also are there. For example, if we talk about acid rain. So, this acid rain contains acid, and this acid rain is going to fall and is going to go deeper into the layers of the soil, into the zones of the soil profile. So, they are going to also lead to soil pollution, because this is going to reduce the fertility of the soil. So, we have discussed the types of soil pollutants in brief, that is chemicals, pesticides, fertilizers and manure, radioactive materials, discarded materials and other pollutants. I hope you will be able to explain in the examination in detail. You can write your own points when you are going to discuss the types of soil pollutants. Now, we are going to move on to the major sources of soil pollutants. Means we are going to just mention the names from where do we get these soil pollutants that we have discussed until now. So, the major sources of soil pollutants are the industrial waste, urban, commercial or domestic waste, agricultural chemicals and fertilizers, biomedical waste, biodegradable waste, non-biodegradable waste, indirect result of air pollution. So let's discuss one by one. Well, industrial waste, I told you that we have certain chemicals, and these chemicals, when they are actually going to enter into the soil profile, they are going to cause pollution, and these chemicals are quite harmful. For example, I told you, when these metals they are going to enter into the soil profile, they are going to reduce the fertility of the soil, alter the soil properties. Then we have urban, commercial or domestic waste. Now this urban, commercial or domestic waste, it is actually dumped into the soil pits or in the form of landfills, like that I will explain you in the next context. So these waste also contribute to soil pollution. Then agricultural chemicals and fertilizers, for example, I told you an example of DDT, which is an insecticide, right? So this DDT is a form of agricultural chemical that is used in agriculture as an insecticide. So this also leads to soil pollution, and excessive use of fertilizers also lead to soil pollution. Then we have biomedical waste. Biomedical waste can be in the form of infected syringes, right, needles, cotton. So this biomedical waste, when it is dumped in the soil, this leads to deterioration of the soil quality, eventually leading to soil pollution. Next we have biodegradable waste. These wastes, for example, can be kitchen waste, right? We have kitchen waste at our homes. Kitchen waste is a form of biodegradable waste. We have fruit peels, right? We have other kitchen waste. It's a form of biodegradable waste. It is biodegradable because it is going to be degraded by the action of microorganisms. So microorganisms such as bacteria, they are going to act on this waste, and they are going to convert this waste into simpler form. So it is actually not that much harmful to soil. Then we have non-biodegradable waste. This includes the waste such as we have discussed earlier, that is plastic. Now plastic is non-biodegradable, it is not degraded by the natural phenomena by the action of microorganisms. So microorganisms do not act on plastic and convert it into simpler forms. This plastic remains as it is. For example, if you are going to have the refills of your pen, that plastic refills in your pen, if you are going to throw it into, or you can dig it into the soil, you will find after few years that it remains as it is. It is not degraded. Why? Because plastic is a form of non-biodegradable waste. So that refill, that plastic refill is not degrading. Why? Because it is non-biodegradable. Then we have indirect result of air pollution, that we have discussed in case of acid rain. So you can mention here acid rain. So it is also an indirect result of air pollution. How? When acid rain is going to fall, it is going to enter into the soil profile. This is going to lead to the entry of acid, right? So the pH is going to be reduced because acids have a lower pH. So the pH of the soil is going to change, which is going to alter the properties of the soil, leading to the decreased fertility of the soil. So mainly we are concerned with what? We are concerned with the alteration in the soil by the addition and removal of materials, leading to reduced productivity. When this productivity is going to reduce, it means the soil is less fertile. When the soil is going to be less fertile, it means we are talking in the sense that these pollutants are going to degrade or deteriorate the quality of the soil, right? So remember, industrial waste, urban, commercial or domestic waste, agricultural chemicals and fertilizers, biomedical waste, biodegradable waste, non-biodegradable waste, indirect result of air pollution, that is acid rain, they are the major sources of air pollutants. You can combine both of these, you can combine types of soil pollutants and major sources of soil pollutants when you write an effective answer, when it is asked in the examination. So whenever a question comes, when you are going to tell or discuss about the soil pollutants, you can combine both of these aspects, right? Because they are interrelated. This I have just mentioned what are the types of soil pollutants, and I have just here listed the major sources of soil pollutants. You can explain it in your words, and it's quite easy, I guess, because you have been reading about pollution from previous classes, right, from junior classes also. Then next topic is how can we actually prevent soil pollution? Well, first is recycling of waste. Now the main thing that is polluting the soil is actually these waste, right? So if we are going to recycle these waste, it means we are going to prevent soil pollution indirectly. So the recycling of the waste can lead to the prevention of soil pollution. For example, if we talk about paper, then this paper can be recycled. We can use the paper again. If we talk about glass bottles, we can use them again. We can in fact do not need to recycle, we can reuse that glass bottles. So instead of actually dumping these waste into the soil, leading to soil pollution, we can actually recycle these waste, okay. We can actually recycle this waste. For example, if we have a jute waste, that jute waste can be effectively turned into a hardboard, right. So this is how we can actually reuse the waste or we can recycle the waste. Next way to prevent soil pollution is landfills. Now what is landfill? When there are low-lying areas, for example, there is an area which is a low-lying area. Now these low-lying areas can be filled in up with the waste that are being generated. So what happens? There are two benefits of this. First benefit is that this low-lying areas get filled up. Second benefit is this, that the waste which we would have actually dumped in the soil and deteriorated the quality, it is actually find a right place for its disposal. So these are the two benefits of landfills. So landfills are generally done where there are low-lying areas so that we can actually dispose of the waste which help in the filling of that area, which helps in the filling of that low-lying area. So landfills also help in the prevention of this waste which we actually would have been dumped in the soil, leading to soil pollution. This is a way by which we can actually prevent this soil pollution. Next method is incineration. Now incineration means burning at very high temperatures. So I'll just write it for you so that you remember this. Incineration means burning at very high temperatures. Now when I say at very high temperatures, this temperature is often greater than 1000 degrees Celsius. So you can imagine how high this temperature is, 1000 degrees Celsius. So incineration means burning at very high temperatures. Now when we talk about incineration, then the wastes, when they are incinerated, means when they are burnt at very high temperature, they turn into what? They turn into ashes. Now when we burn them, carbon dioxide is released. Now it goes into the atmosphere, right? But it's in a very small amount, but the waste which was in bulk, in a very huge amount, it is actually turned into ashes by burning it at a very high temperature. So incineration is also a method to actually dispose of the waste in a way that they are turned into ashes. Next we have production of biogas and manure. When we have talked about the biodegradable waste, these biodegradable waste can be used for the production of biogas and manure. So it's one way to actually utilize the waste that is going to cause pollution in a sense. So these biodegradable waste, for example, I told you the kitchen waste, for example fruit peels, or we have other kitchen waste, they can be used for the production of biogas and manure. So this is how we have discussed the types of soil pollutants, the major sources of soil pollutants and the ways of prevention of this soil pollution. So let us recall, soil pollution means the alteration in soil by addition and removal of materials leading to reduced productivity, right? This is known as soil pollution. So what are the types of soil pollution? It can be chemicals, pesticides, fertilizers and manure, radioactive materials, discarded materials and other pollutants. What are the sources of these pollutants? They are the industrial waste, urban, commercial or domestic waste, agricultural chemicals and fertilizers, biomedical waste, biodegradable waste, non-biodegradable waste, indirect result of air pollution. For example, we have discussed acid rain. Then how can we prevent? Because I told you that the overall aspect of controlling the soil pollution is that we have to reduce these waste. We have to reduce such waste. And how can we reduce these waste? By these methods. We can recycle waste, we can have landfills, we can actually perform incineration, that is burning at very high temperature is going to lead to turn that waste into ashes. High temperature means 1000 degrees Celsius, more than this even. Then we can actually use biodegradable waste for the production of biogas and manure. So this is how we can actually prevent soil pollution. So whenever a question comes in the examination, you can actually elaborate these points quite well in your own words, right? So it's quite easy and I hope that this is clear to you all.